Hey man, yo, what's up, dude? Just about to stab you or something, and you being like, oh, I just need to do. Yo, what's up?
What's up?
This is Film Talk number 16, and this week we have Fargo from 1996. It was directed and written by the Coen brothers with a budget of $7 million. So it's an indie movie.
Yeah, I guess. It doesn't seem like an indie movie at all.
Not with the actors if you look at them today where they are.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it was like
at the time. Maybe it was an indie movie. It had 85 on Metacritic, which is pretty good. And the actors are William Macy, which portrays Jerry Ludegaard, the main protagonist. We have Steve Buscemi as Carl Showalter. I can't even read my own writing.
Is that the father or one of the bad guys?
Jerry is the father, and Carl
Jerry is the father?
Jerry is the car salesman.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He's I guess he's the father, but he's like,
yeah.
I meant like
Steve,
his wife's dad.
Yeah.
Is that Steve?
Steve Buscemi is Carl. You know, the guy driving the car all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Love that character.
Peter Stormare. Nice. Is playing, I can't pronounce his name. Gar Greensrud.
Yeah, I don't know. Names, I'm not good with names. Yeah. Sorry.
His name is, we're gonna call him Gar.
Okay.
Gar. And then like we have Frances McDonald or McDorand or something, and she plays Marge, which is the cop.
Yeah. I love Marge.
So, summary of the movie. So the movie is about Jerry, who is in debt and just need money, and he need it fast. He tried everything, so he ends up going to criminals and trying to stage this kidnapping of his wife, which goes a little bit south. It escalates, and it doesn't become this easy affair of like bringing out money from his father-in-law, which is the point, because he's like a millionaire owning the car company that Jerry works at.
Yeah.
So he just tries to like fake out the money, just getting a big fat paycheck, and everything will be just on ice or whatever. It goes a little bit south, and this cop Marge barges in, being like, something is not right here. Something is fishy. Yeah, so that's...
But she didn't say it that cool. She was like,
nah.
Hey Carl, I think something is bad here.
No, she said something very unique that only she said in the entire movie once.
Oh.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah? Oh
Dude,
yeah?
the amount of time they said it.
Dude, Minesota.
I thought at first that... I only heard it first with Jerry when he talked.
Oh yeah?
I thought it was like a leprechaun.
Oh my god.
So I thought, is he from like Great Britain, or I can't really...
Oh, you thought that?
I couldn't really like pinpoint his accent.
Yeah, that's it's a pretty like, it's a strong Minnesota accent.
Yeah.
That like
I didn't even know how Minnesota.
Dude, I don't think they talk like that. Like,
no.
Not all of them, but
oh
like,
yeah.
oh yeah. But it's a stereotypical way of, I think it's like a bit over. But yeah. I guess some people talk like that. Minnesota isn't like that, and isn't like that town. But it got from it. We talked about A Serious Man, right? The movie.
Yes.
Yeah. From the Coen brothers as well.
Yes.
And something wonderful that I love about those two movies is that as the protagonist, you have like a protagonist that life shits on,
Yeah.
In every way possible. He's down with the economy. He's in debt. Like, he doesn't have a good life. He works like a salesman for his father-in-law. It's not what he does want in life, He lacks the respect from everyone. His kids isn't that good, He's got a basic life, but he doesn't want that basic life. He's trying to strive for something else, and well, you think or maybe it is. You think that he's trying to do this actually pretty bad thing for his family, but you never know. You know, he might be doing it for himself.
Yeah, and also, I thought it was just weird because first you think you have some sympathy with him, being like, oh, he just needs the money. He just wants to keep it on ice. You're like, if they did it well. So I gave him like a shot, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Like I gave him an opportunity to be like, he maybe is a redeemable character. But then I realized more and more into the movie he was just not redeemable at all.
Oh yeah.
Well,
oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
When the worst thing was probably like the end point of me just even caring about him as a good person in some way, a good character. Not a good character, but yeah. Was when he lied to his son.
What did he say?
Like his son was sitting on the bed, just destroyed. He was a bit annoying in the beginning of the movie, you know, being teenager boy, being like, it's normal stuff. But then as soon as his mother, gets kidnapped, he just gets destroyed. Like he's just mentally destroyed. And he sits there on the bed being like, I have to do something, we have to call the cops. And his dad is just thinking about the money, being like, nah, don't call the cops, dude. Just keep it quietly. And I thought, dude, that dad, Jerry, he sucks.
Yeah, my first impression was like, wow, that's a really smart idea. That's genius. Why don't people think about this? Like, call some people, kidnap your wife. Your wife's father is a millionaire or something. He's gonna get the money. Everybody wins,
Everybody wins, even the criminals.
well, not really. It's a bad idea, but I thought like, wow, that's a great twist, and even the twist in the car with the cop, like, Jesus fucking Christ, it was crazy. I love the script. I love how they even like tell you the idea of the film or what's going on, and you get like this almost Tarantino-y dialogue in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, wow, I've breaking this scene down like several times, but like the first scene, he walks into the bar, right? A wide shot of him standing at the door, like from the precision of the two guys. He doesn't belong there. He's looking around for someone.
He really takes the room in. That's like he got this face. Like his smile, not smile, but his face being like, I don't want to be here.
He's not, yeah.
I don't want to be here at all.
He doesn't belong there. He's like a family
I just want to do
father.
the business and get out.
Yeah, and he goes to sit down with them and like, just think about the dialogue they had with him, the two criminals. That's how Tarantino writes dialogue, really. He's like, oh, you're those guys, they. Whatever his name was, he told me about you, and they're like, you were supposed to be here at 6:30.
Yeah.
It's 7:30. Well, he told me 7:30, and they're talking about that, and like how the criminal, like, one is quiet, like, looks really scary,
intimidating.
Yeah, smoking that cigarette and holding the cigarette in a way that like tells him like he doesn't fear the fire, the hot part of the cigarette. And like the other one that is trash talking all the time and showing like dominance is like small. He's like the little guy.
It's kind of like they say the smallest dog barks the loudest.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like the Chihuahua.
But he wasn't. He was scary as well. But like
Yeah, but Chihuahuas are scary too. But yeah. I mean,
Chihuahuas are scary too. Yeah, they are.
I mean, he was scary in his own way, but Gar was. I mean, he was terrifying.
Yeah.
Imagine this like big, quiet guy, just sitting there. It's like, oh, you get money for kidnapping a girl.
Okay. He said, I want pancakes.
That felt me, Tarantino.
You did? Yeah.
They were like the entire establishing scene where we trying to get to know the criminals before they even do the acts of kidnapping. They just talk about pancakes.
Yeah, the Gar.
And I think that scene really nailed how the characters are later just acted out.
Yeah, well, it introduced us to how
Their
there's-
relationship.
yeah, and how they think about stuff. Cause like they don't give a fuck. They do this all the time. You get to know that instantly, like, instantly, because they're like, oh, gonna go eat, and like go to a hotel and fuck some bitches or something,
Yeah.
and it's like a everyday thing for them.
We
So-
should do twice. Or at least Carl.
Yeah, exactly, and even how they showed like the sex scene, and like after it's almost like nothing special.
Yeah.
It's a wide shot from like the roof, looking down at them, and then cut to later when they're watching a movie or something.
Felt a bit too real.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
like,
yeah,
what
exactly.
happens
Well, yeah.
during movies? We only see the action, but we don't see the aftermath.
Yeah, well,
And here was just they looked depressed looking at looking at the TV.
well, like what is going on? It's really
Yeah.
a bizarre, like, not a bizarre, but like it's a weird scene because they're sitting watching TV with these like girls, it's just they don't know them. They're probably paid,
Yeah,
And they're watching
in the
TV.
credits. In the credits, it was I think they were credited as hookers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hooker 1 and Hooker 2.
Hookers.
So they were hookers.
Yeah.
So they were not a couple of studs just
Not a
bringing up
couple of
chicks.
Maybe we should talk about why we're sitting here, for a bit. We missed it in the beginning. We just
Yes.
went into the discussion directly. But like,
Where are we?
where are we? We are in my new apartment and our new studio. So this is a one-room, like studio apartment for students, and we're thinking about making a studio here for us. As we said, we've bought like new microphones and stuff, and we're gonna buy some new furniture for the studio, but we're gonna have it here. We have some light, we have some stuff, we're really excited, and we bought even more cameras.
And we have potential guests in the future.
Yeah, we have a guest, dude. We booked.
Do we have a
guest.
guest list?
No, but I've already talked to so many people to.
I mean, we kind of have like a checklist of people that's gonna be on the show. So
But
a
like
guest list, yeah.
it's people that goes to school with us. It's people that loves film, and I want to have like Hermansson and Totti on as well, like our teachers.
Dude, that
would
awesome.
be so cool because they know so much about film, and just the way they would talk about the movie would be so interesting to hear.
Especially Joachim.
Yeah, Joachim. Have you heard about his collection?
Yeah. Dude.
It's insane. We calculated, me and Jonas calculated out how much it's worth.
Oh,
So
dude.
he's got, I think, over 10,000.
Like Swedish crowns.
No, 10,000 movies,
What?
and the value of it's over 2.2 million
No.
crowns. No, I'm not kidding. It's crazy.
Fuck off.
It's crazy.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Dude. So our teacher, he studies during our, imagine he's a teacher at a college, film college. Like, all day, all night, he's just, correcting essays and exams and everything. From
Giving
multiple...
feedback and,
Yeah, he gives
answering-
feedback within 5 minutes, 3 a.m.
But yeah,
And that's multiple times.
No joke. He've answered me, like, I've written an email asking something about an essay, and he would respond with like in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
respond.
he
Like, what, are you even awake, dude? Go to sleep.
He even sits during class when we had the film watch, or like we were watching movies.
Yeah.
He just sat in the corner of the theater, just like
And
typing.
And yes,
reading,
we
reading.
have our own. You know what? We should have a special episode in the theater.
Hell yeah.
Like sitting all the way down, but like with the background
Hell yeah.
is the theater. That's a good idea.
But he's just he's just crazy, like in a good way. He's just a mad genius when it comes to film. So
Yeah.
meanwhile he's doing all of these corrections of exams and being a teacher and all that, he also does a 6-month long exam himself.
Yeah, well, he's studying.
Like, making a thesis on something.
On something like incredible.
Like, it's not just like, oh, these movies are great. No. It's more like this this little thing in this thing.
Yeah.
And he just like
the super
20 pages.
You think only 20 pages? Probably more.
Probably more.
Probably a lot more. But like he've been studying in like universities and high school colleges for over 30 years. Like 30 years.
Dude.
Oh, what?
So that's
and we're just gonna study 3 years. He studies 10 times more. You know, going to a candidate study for 10 times. That's crazy. That really
kind of explains his massive movie collection. But still, who has 10,000 movies in physical form?
Okay, so I can seriously count them right now. They're below the camera. It's probably 15 Blu-rays.
I have 20. I started collecting during, let's see, since October. Since episode 4, I've been starting collecting Blu-rays, and I have 20.
It's really nice because I have.
He has 10,000, dude.
Like a lot of the films that I have are actually films that I really love, and films that I've watched almost all of them, but I love them all. You know, I have the original Karate Kid. I have Source Code, which is a really
you have the original Karate Kid.
Yeah.
You want to have that as a episode?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've already planned it, right?
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Spoiler.
I have a Serious Man.
That was a spoiler. Oh, you have a Serious Man as a Blu-ray?
I do, and I even got Interstellar in like a special edition.
Cool.
Kind of thing. It's Cloud Atlas. That we've talked about it.
Dude, like the more I think about the movies we watched, I kind of want to watch them again.
Yeah.
Like Cloud Atlas.
I know. It's a really good movie. We should. I don't know how. We should maybe like try to have more movies that like are really, really classics. You know,
yes.
Black and white movies that people don't know about. I think that would be like interesting for people to hear about. Like,
I would love to have an episode about Citizen Kane.
Yeah, totally.
But now we've been off topic a bit.
So back to Fargo. Back to Fargo. So,
yes.
How do you see that movie? Like, how do you see that movie playing? Was it for you a drama or a suspense piece? Like, how were your emotions?
Suspense piece? Do you mean just like?
Like, was it mainly suspense? Like, you're sitting there and like, what's gonna happen? Like, how was your feelings?
I think it was more of a suspense piece.
Okay.
Because I never really got this feeling of, is Jerry gonna get caught? No. I just want to see how the criminals will behave with like the situation, how the dad will behave, the cop. At the end, I was just interested in the cop, you know.
Yeah, the cops is wonderful.
She took over the movie for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, it worked out because I really enjoyed her character arc. She didn't really have a character arc. It was more of a, she is this wife living. Is her husband a cop too?
No.
He was at the office, but he was not in uniform. He
works with something.
Yeah.
Like postman or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't really remember, but it's something like super basic. Like it's not a, and I think it's a super good like contrast to her, because she in the movie she's like the good guy, you know.
Yeah.
She's like everything that's right in the world, you know. She's going by the rules. She's the one putting the order in life, you know, and she's got this. You think that her husband would be like also this great guy, you know, that has a really good job and everything.
He kind of felt like not a soccer mom, but he felt like a home wife.
Yeah, that's a good description to it.
I think during this movie, I mean, it's more common now to have the gender role switch and stuff like that. I felt like this movie not super pushed it, but was more like the wife is the person bringing home the bread, and the man is, you know, waking up earlier to cook her eggs, so she gets a breakfast. He comes to work with food, you know, which was pretty cool to see because it felt so like it could happen, you know.
Yeah.
It was not like, "Hi, honey, I have food." It was more like he was just sitting there being like, "Oh yeah, I got you a burger," you know. You know,
They had such a like.
I
such
love their
a
dynamic.
Normal, you know. There's nothing.
It didn't
going
feel
on.
forced. It felt actually
Yeah.
natural.
Well, natural. I don't know, cause like, they don't talk. You know, there's nothing happening. They're just, "Hi, honey," like laying in bed. You know.
I mean, like if you look at some couples,
but you actually see how much they love each other. You know.
yeah, because they don't all the time being like, you know, jumping on each other like, "Oh, I love you," no. They're more like, "I know where I have you, so I just, you know, do my thing. I'm being a cop, you being what he now does."
Which is not something you see in Jerry.
Yeah.
You see, it's like it's really on the other side of the spectrum for Jerry. He's worried about everything. He's like nervous about it. Probably his relationship with his wife as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really good contrast because she's like the angel and he's like the devil, if I may. You know, that's but I think this film has everything I like. You know, original idea, which is it's super nice. It's like a plan that goes wrong, and stuff happens, and like shit like hits the fan. You know, people die out of nowhere. You have this like little town that haven't had a murder in years, and like 2 people die, a police officer, you know, and just a random guy.
Yeah.
And oh my god, that scene when he like pulls aside like the car and then just starts driving like really fast. And
Chasing the other car.
yeah. Because like the car came by them and they like didn't stop, but like they slowed down.
Yeah.
And he saw that they saw them, you know, and he just went after him. It's like you're in the shit and you get to just deal with it. There's no plan, right?
I mean,
they
plan.
Were. He shot the
they
fucking
shot all
officer.
the witnesses.
Yeah.
There were no witnesses.
He shot the officer like that out of nowhere, and like you're in the fucking forest. Lions are around you. This just happened. You don't have any plan. Just adrenaline and just deal with it. And they fucking killed 2 people, you know, and even like everything went bad with them. Even when he met like the father. Carl.
The father's name is Jerry. Carl is Steve.
No, I mean like the stepfather.
The
Carl? The old guy.
The old guy. I don't know his name.
Okay, the old guy.
The old guy.
He went to meet
father-in-law.
he went to meet the criminals to give them the money, and he had a gun on him. He shot one of them.
That's where the plan didn't go as planned.
Well, everything went to shit. You know, when they killed the cops, that was like
that was the start of it. That brought more attention from the cops, but also that Jerry could save it, or they could have saved the situation. But since the father-in-law was just, you know, "No, it's my money, I have to do it," and Jerry was just, you know, just thinking, "Just don't do it. Everything will work out for the wife, for me, and for you, for everyone." But he doesn't listen. He just goes for it, and the plan goes even further south, you know. And
even better, his father-in-law was like, this looks good, we can go with this, and he tries to like call the criminals and tell them like to not do it, and you know, and he comes home and it's like, fuck, they actually did it. And you get this reaction to him actually being afraid about his wife, you know. Because he knew that something is gonna happen, but then, fuck, they actually did it. Fuck, you know? Oh, Jesus.
There's a funny thing. So, you really enjoy this movie, it seems.
Yeah.
It seems like you really just...
Yeah, I did.
I think it's kinda... I see the good parts in it. I see its charm. I still think it's kinda...
Well...
I think it's kinda... Not mediocre, but it's like... It's alright. I don't necessarily need to rewatch
That's really okay.
it.
Yeah. That's like not a problem. If something
I think that's been a couple of episodes since we had a different view of a movie.
Well, yeah, I guess, but
all
like,
the latest one was just like, oh, this 1917.
I love it.
Hey, it was amazing. You had a little bit of like thoughts about the movie, but otherwise it's been Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, it was a great movie. Hey, almost 5 points. Parasite. Hey, 5 points. This movie, I feel like this is a bit more different for me because I feel like you really love the Coen brothers. I did not super much enjoy Serious Man as a movie. I understand it's like some messages and something they wanted to tell with the movie, but maybe it's just that style of movie that's not really my kind of.
Yeah, definitely. I think that.
But this movie was a bit more friendly to an everyday audience. I feel like A Serious Man is more. You really need to go into the movie.
Think, yeah, I get. Yeah, probably.
I think like A Serious Man was more. You need to be sitting there trying to break down what's happening, not just looking at it as a entertainment value. This movie I could see as just entertainment and not trying to break it down or anything.
Yeah, but the thing is that you had also the breaking down of this movie.
Yes.
There is so much to it, and I love movies that give you both.
Yeah.
You know, the entertainment and the like the part where you think about like everything. You get that feeling that everything that I see in this movie has a meaning, and everything is there for a reason.
Dude. Okay, so one thing I absolutely loved about this movie is just the landscapes.
Yeah.
It's just
amazing.
It's
Beautiful.
just snow.
Yeah.
And the best shot in the entire movie, I think, is from this movie is one of the most iconic scenes or iconic. Yes, do you say setups?
Yeah. No.
Like camera angle or
maybe it's called setup. I guess you could say.
So my favorite one was when he first is at the father-in-law and he gets rejected about the what was it, $750 million or $75 million or
that much?
No, okay, not 750, but like 75 million or something. Okay. It was just a bunch of money. And they said, do you think we're stupid that we just give you this money? No interest or anything? And he walks out to the car. And it's just, I guess they filmed it from the top of a skyscraper or like a very tall building, just looking down. It was like a bird perspective on him. And when I first saw it, it just looks cool. Him just so small walking there. But then I started to think the basics of camera angles, from beneath, if you look up at something, it looks mighty, it looks holy, it looks like it's strong, it can stand on its own two legs. But at a bird perspective, like a over-the-head perspective, they look more weak, like basic film.
And you get this like super over-the-head.
Over the edge.
Fucking house.
Yeah, it's like almost from the clouds, just looking down at him. And when he walks there, you will only see his head and his legs going like this. And we see how small he is on this big empty parking lot. That he's alone. His wife has already been kidnapped, right?
No, I don't. Not at that moment. No.
All right, but anything.
Because it wouldn't be about that. Like, it would be weird of them to have a meeting about that. If his wife
it was not about the kidnapping. This was just his
about the investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just like
I think it's before.
It really tells like he is just a small, weak little person.
Exactly.
Doing nothing.
And you get like the simple shot of him going to his car, but it means so much more.
Yeah.
It's like the opening shot, which I love.
Yeah.
What does the opening shot say?
It says that he does something out of his own comfort zone.
No, the first picture.
Oh, driving in the nights. No.
Snowstorm, day, and he
it's day. Yeah.
He comes through the snow, with his car, and then we see the car behind him. So it's almost like you're telling, okay, someone is going into unknown territory, going into this. He doesn't see in front of him. Because we barely see the car, so he doesn't see what's in front.
Mm.
And then you get a clue of why is he carrying a car with him, and it gives you like a small thing into the second scene, or the second picture, when he is inside the bar.
Yeah.
But
I'm
you
pretty
know,
hungry.
I love those pictures that just tells you so much about the film and about the what's gonna happen, and it's super easy. It's super like there's nothing to it but the meaning, you know? And it's also like it's not a weird angle.
No.
It's not something weird. It's like you watch it and it's okay. Someone is going somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Like a normal person watching it, not thinking about the meaning behind everything. Like it's somewhere really snowy. It's a small town probably, right? Because you get this like off road.
Do you remember the name of the town?
Yes, it's called Fargo.
Yeah, the town that he goes to. Yeah, but the town that he lives in.
It's in Minnesota, somewhere in Minnesota.
Yeah.
But I think doesn't it take place in Fargo?
No, Fargo is the place where the criminals are at.
Okay.
That's something that I looked up. It's just like the name of the movie is just about the place where he goes to like find the answer or like find a solution.
What is the meaning of Fargo? God damn it, we should have looked that up.
I don't know.
What does it come from? Where does it come from? And by the way, do you know that there is a TV series?
Yeah, I got confused first because I've heard Fargo.
Like, am I supposed to watch all this?
I heard like Fargo, the TV series, but I actually didn't know there was a movie about Fargo, which kind of says
it's the original.
Yeah,
like the TV series comes after
exactly.
the movie.
The TV series is pretty recent, right?
Yeah.
I heard good things about Fargo, the TV show. So when you said I'm gonna watch Fargo, like Fargo is so good and everything, I thought I'm gonna watch a TV series. I don't know if that says about me as being a film student, not knowing what Fargo is at its original.
No, I think
form
people you enjoy one kind of film, so you know a lot about those films that you enjoy, and I like these type of films, and that's why I know a lot about them, or I have seen a lot of them, you know.
You actually introduced me to the Coen brothers, so
and Wes Anderson.
Yeah,
and Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
And Christopher Nolan.
No, I think. Okay, wait.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, Moonrise Kingdom.
What?
Moonrise Kingdom was the first Wes Anderson movie I've seen, I think.
Oh yeah.
So you introduced me to him. I've just heard people throwing these names around, and I'm just sitting there like, I mean, I watch Kung Fu Panda in my spare time. I watch Spider-Man. Like I'm a simple man, and these people like throw Italian names from like the 40s like in my face, being like, you don't know this guy. But now I'm finally starting to get to know the big names.
Yeah.
Like I knew like Tarantino and stuff like that before, but like now
David
I know.
Fincher. Do you know about him?
I've heard about him.
I have a couple of movies that he made.
Yeah, so I'm not the brightest guy when it comes to movies, but I've learned so much.
You know so much about the movies that you like.
Yeah,
and that should be like the only thing that you need to care about, because like you only take
You want to do Spirited Away?
Yeah, Spirited Away is so good, my dad.
Studio Ghibli.
But we were gonna look at another film from the same director, right?
Yes.
Like another animated.
Like Studio Ghibli. Yeah.
It feels like we've talked about Spirited Away. We haven't. I know that we haven't.
I think it's just because we watched it in school.
Yeah, and we talked about it in private, like just us, you know. We've talked about it before, and it's such a movie that has a lot, like, it has the things that we both love, which is like like the animation.
Okay, so like I think I said it before. I think I said it before on this podcast, like prior episodes. But I'm a sucker for visuals. Just visuals, anything. Good camera angles, good color correction, exposure, animation, visual effects. Just anything good. just like I love looking at things. Taking in like the deep meaning of things, I'm pretty bad at. So I look at things face value, pretty much.
No.
But it's just like, so for example, Spirited Away, it has a it's easy to understand the deep meaning of the story because it's like, you know, really tells you the deep meaning. Some movies you kind of have to dig for it, which some people like, but I kind of like when it's kind of told to me in a way. And also just Studio Ghibli is just, I mean, every frame you take from that movie is a wallpaper, is like a painting, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not lazy with the in-betweens or with the emotion smears. They just like...
But I think it's also like, it probably has a lot to it that we didn't understand, you know?
Yeah.
Just because it's that great.
I mean, all the details in that movie is just insane.
Yeah.
But that's also why I appreciate movies like this. It is, if you think about it, like quite simple with just some wide angle on a big, like, white fog snowstorm, just car driving through it. Like, anyone could shoot, like, make that shot. But it's just in the way it's presented and in the sequence of the next scene and the next scene, it makes this movie even better, you know. So I appreciate these movies that not like, you know, bang 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 visuals, bang 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 bang. Even though they are very famous for visuals and stuff.
You know, that's exactly what like great movies succeed of doing.
Yeah.
It's all about like how do you present it. There's so much to it, you know. There's so much like preparation, like everything that goes into making something on the spot, like how you're gonna solve, doing several stuff that might be outside of your budget or might be like really complex, or can we actually do this in post or not. But like at the end, it's all about how do you present it.
And even though I didn't really super enjoy this movie, the way they presented it was just, I was still intrigued. The suspension thing that you talked about, I wanted to see more. It was not like I was sitting at the edge of my seat being like, what's going to happen next?
It's not one of those movies.
It was just, you know, in the beginning, thinking like, I was pretty slow start. I was starting to get the premise of the movie. But then immediately when I started to feel more connection to one of the characters, especially Marge, the cop, I started to feel like, I'm not the edge of my seat, but I really want to see what's happened next.
Exactly.
And I think that's a very good thing about the movie. It should not supposed to be like a roller coaster ride. We heard it multiple, but it was Scorsese who said like Avengers are a roller coaster ride.
I don't know.
There's some director
I know a lot that that Scorsese said, but
there's some director at least, maybe it was a teacher, I don't know. Someone said at least that like the Avengers movie are like a roller coaster. You're not there for the deep meaning of the story. You're just there for the visuals and just like the roller coaster effect. You're just like, I want to go again. And I mean, it's nice in the moment.
Well, I guess
but it's not like,
I guess we have that in common, you know, about the things that we like. Because I really like suspense, and I really like. There's always this something.
But that's the thing
you know,
about
you don't let go all the way.
Yeah.
But it's also like the building up and like being slow and methodical.
Which I'm starting to like now shift my interest to. Because this suspense was, you know, it was just laying dormant. It was just, you know, there. It was not like, you know, trying to grab you and bring you down. It was just, you know, there. Casually being there. So you didn't really think that you were interested in the characters. But then after the movie you started to realize, wait, I actually had an interest, like, knowing what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Which, like, made me feel like, wait, what? But during Avengers movie, everything they do in that movie is just to be like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Is Iron Man gonna shoot his laser? Yeah. Like,
which is fun.
Yeah,
There's
it is
nothing
fun.
wrong with it.
I mean, it's a roller coaster ride.
It's a great piece of art. You know, it's not like, oh, this is not cinema, and people that says like that. Yeah. No, that's hard. That's hard to do.
But that's like a roller coaster ride. You go on it, go up this like slow thing, and you're thinking like, oh, the suspense is building, and you know that you're gonna get it. Like, you know what a roller coaster ride is.
Yeah.
But
you're
movies
there
like
to
this,
have fun, you know.
Yeah, but movies like this, they are presented as not a roller coaster ride. It's presented as some movie like
I think
maybe not like a
it's
deep
more
movie.
like it's more like you're going to a house to discover it.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and you don't know what's gonna happen, like what's going on.
It's pretty much, they say, like, look through this. Like, if they just give you something random, like a book, say, like, read it. You don't know the premise or anything, just being, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though you have seen the trailers, you know a little bit what's gonna happen in the movie.
Well, I didn't see it.
But you don't know about the suspense. And if it's just laying dormant there, just laying secretly, as is in this movie, you get that, like, you want to see what's happening, even though you're not fully interested, if that makes sense.
Well, this movie does the suspense in a really special way.
Yeah.
Because they don't keep feeding the suspense, you know? They don't keep adding to it.
Yeah.
It's more like
They got up
the
to
things-
a certain point and then
the things that happen, like, just out of nowhere,
Yeah.
okay? And then that thing that happened is making you feel the suspense.
Yeah.
Not what they're showing. They're just you knowing that this thing happened and what it might have as like a consequence to it. It's nothing else. It's not, they don't keep feeding stuff and like with the music and like building up this atmosphere. No, it's quiet. It's a cop
which I enjoyed.
and her husband laying in bed. And
There's
like,
nothing special about the
No.
relationship. It's just, you know,
where's the suspense is that? Nothing.
Yeah.
But-
which makes the small things more important.
But you know
The-
what
the-
you get from that? You get that she has a feeling about that something is wrong, and that she's on it, and you're like, no, he's gonna get like busted or something.
Yeah.
Can it just like be good? You know, give him the money and
Yeah.
everything will be okay. But not. You know, you know.
Did you
that
get the
something
feeling
is-
of that that you had some, you wanted to every character wanted to wait, how can I say this?
every character wanted to.
Like, you wanted every character to succeed.
Every character. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's
That was
the
a
thing.
weird thing I thought about
That's
the
a
movie.
weird thing.
I wanted every character to, like, you know, win in some way.
Mm.
Jerry, even though he was a douchebag, he put his, like, debt problem in front of his family. He didn't tell anyone else. He just wanted to get it fixed. Even though I wanted him to succeed, because it also benefits his family in a way. The wife, I mean, she was kidnapped, you know. I wanted to see her to escape or, like, you know, get well. The criminals, like, you get this feeling of they just doing it for the money, and they don't want to, like, kill people. They do it because they have to. So I kind of wanted them to just, you know, in some way, like, one of them get away or something. Which was why one of the scenes that I actually got completely confused about. Not in a good way. Not just like, this was not expected. It was more like, I did not see that coming. And that was when Gar was attacking Carl with a fire axe.
Yeah.
Or a wood axe.
Wow.
Dude, like, he's sitting there so calmly, just being there, just, you know, eating his breakfast, whatever. Carl comes in, being like, here's your cut, man. Here's your 40,000 or 80,000 or whatever it was. And he says, I take the nice car, you take the bad car. And he says, no, we split it. And they have this conversation about how they're going to split
like,
it.
Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm fucking dying or something.
And he's just so calm. He's sitting like this. Sure. And Carl just goes out for the car. Carl goes out for the car. And we see him walking. And immediately he has this one white jumpsuit, pajamas.
Okay.
But he runs out with this brown hat and his like big gloves and like these big boots, looking kind of goofy. And she runs towards him, and then just the axe raised. I was like, wait.
Well, we already know
and he
that,
just gets
yeah.
struck. And then immediately after, when we see what's happening, the aftermath, when March is there, he's just pushing him down like a wood.
Well, they have already told you about this, that Gar is a fucking maniac. He doesn't care. He killed the cop just like that.
Oh, you mean Gar? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they told me that, but
you didn't like.
But it kind of felt like they were
He wasn't supposed to do that. Well, like, what's happening?
I knew that they were like criminal partners, not necessarily buddies, because the pancake scene established that Carl is kinda like irritated about Gar not talking, just wanting like things I wanted, you know. But since it does its job well, he just let it be. So the movie told us that it would happen probably, like a foreshadowed.
Yeah.
But still, it just felt like, in a good way, I did not expect it. I should have expected it.
No, you shouldn't.
So it was a welcomed surprise.
Yeah, almost. But if you already know that every time Carl gets into a argument with Gar, you get this feeling, you know?
Something's building up in Gar.
Something is like reminded you, he's a fucking maniac. He's crazy. He might kill him, you know?
Yeah.
And you keep thinking about that.
I thought that...
And you're like, fuck, he's got an axe, you know? You're like, fuck.
I thought that when Carl was banging this chick, and the Gar just oh wait, I'm mixing it up. There was some scene where Gar was a bit, like, not angry, but he was like irritated about Carl, or like something. And I started to feel like maybe something will happen, like they will start a fight or something. Not that one would be just like instantly killed by the other. I don't know.
Was it after the murder, maybe?
I think so.
Mm.
The scene I was confused about now, that I realized, was when Carl had sex with this other hooker, and this car mechanic comes in and you start to beat him up.
Jeez.
You know.
Yeah.
When I talked about now, I thought it was Gar, but then I realized, oh yeah, it was that.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the film pretty basically says, if you like bad people that do bad things, they don't win. You know.
Yeah.
They end up in prison.
Would you say this? I don't know if I got this category or like this genre of a movie right, but do you think this movie was a bit of a noir film, where the main protagonist is not? This is my thought about noir films, is that the main protagonist, you kinda don't enjoy. You enjoy the character, but you don't really support that character 100%. And then in the end, the main protagonist either dies or gets to prison, or like something bad happens to it.
Well, okay, so I don't think we're not knowledgeable enough.
Okay, not there
to know like exactly what noir is, and
yeah,
just because we haven't watched that many.
We read about it during our film history course,
but not that much,
it was
maybe.
Briefly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? Something really interesting, that Scorsese does that a lot.
Okay.
If you think about it, Goodfellas, you've got this character that does a lot of bad shit. You know,
Yeah.
He's the protagonist.
And
he's not a good guy.
He ends up in this suburban white neighborhood.
Exactly. It ends up bad to him for him. What more? Like almost The Wolf of Wall Street is a good example as well. Someone really high up. He's not a great guy. You know, he's not a good guy.
There's signs of throughout the entire movie that he's doing fishy stuff. Like,
have you seen Raging Bull?
No.
It's a really good film.
Okay.
Martin Scorsese. It's black and white, in a time that he could have shot in color.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro as the main character. It's
what a surprise!
You know, he's a boxer. But again, he's not a good guy. But you're like interesting. It's interesting to watch what's going on with him, like his life. How is it gonna reflect to like what's gonna happen with him?
Yeah.
Why is he doing that? Like it's an interesting personality, which you have with Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street, which you have in I don't know his name in Goodfellas. You know, God damn it, sorry.
Yeah,
but it's really interesting to do this like twist on a protagonist. Like you have this protagonist that's actually not a good guy. He's not the hero. the anti-hero protagonist that Hermansson talked about.
I'm kind of irritated about all these like comeback stories. This there's some term for it where the main protagonist is just poor or weak or something, and then something happens to him, like, oh, my father died, I have to get strong, no, and they get strong, and they get to the final battle, and then they win, and they win. I like movies where you can't predict the main protagonist's outcome.
Dude.
That you sit in the end being like, I mean, it looks towards this thing will happen, but this could also happen very well within the writing.
Yeah. Have you seen Uncut Gems?
No. Oh, the new Adam Sandler.
Yeah, we need to talk about it in an
Maybe
episode.
next.
Well, we know what's next, but we could maybe next. I don't know. We can talk about it, but it's
until we finally get our setup.
It has like a really unexpected fucking plot twist.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I thought that movie is good, but it's super interesting, and I really recommend for people to watch it. It's it's a new take on some stuff. It's I don't know, it's fresh, It's kind of nice. I really enjoyed it. I think we should maybe next time we should talk about it.
I have one thing that I can't really figure out about this movie. There's one scene that I just don't understand why it's there.
Okay.
For me personally, I think they could just remove this scene. But since I'm thinking that way, I'm starting to be more curious.
Okay.
There has to be some reason why it's there.
Which scene?
The get together friend date thing that Marge has with this old classmate. Because it feels so. I guess it's a way to show Marge, not intentions, but her mindset and her her personality, just show it more. But it's so weird that all of a sudden we're in this story that we've been following through the entire movie, and then all of a sudden we're on this date, or this day out or night out or something, and he's trying to flirt with her, and she's just like, no, I'm married, no.
I think it says a lot about Marge.
And then there was nothing more about it.
Yeah.
Was it just to make the audience have more connection to Marge?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It really shows you, first of all, Marge is a really good person.
Yes.
She doesn't cheat.
Yes. She doesn't cheat. She doesn't even think about it.
Because you already know that she's married. Because you're like, wait.
But also that she doesn't want to be rude to him, even though he.
No, she's a really good person. So, without that, you would be like, why is she with that guy? You would be still like, maybe she's not happily married, because it doesn't seem like it.
I felt
but then that scene comes in, and you're like, oh, she loves her husband. I think it gives a lot to the character. You get to know the character so much more. You get this connection to the character. Sometimes, those scenes seem useless, but without them, you get this bland character that you almost miss this depth to the character that you could have with another with that simple scene.
Yeah, true. So I feel do you think it's anything else? Does it have anything else to that scene except trying to bring out more of Marge's personality on screen? Or more of her mindset, or...
I think it's saying that Marge is a really good person.
Yes.
And that...
But anything else? There's nothing that carries the story.
It does carry the story. It carries the story of Marge.
Not her story, more her...
It says that Marge is an honest person. Okay?
Yeah. That's more developing her character. Doesn't really carry hers.
It does, because in a way when you see that, you're like, oh, I think she's really good at her job. And she's not lazy at her job. something that easy. Like how could it tell you that she's not lazy as the other cops? It tells you she's an honest person, right? And she's strict.
Yeah.
There's no fooling around. She's nice to people. And I think that's enough to say like a lot about her.
Because I feel like I already got that feeling of her when she was just, doing her job. Especially when she talked to the other policeman in her second scene, when they are going away from the first crime scene. Where she's sitting in the car and being like,
oh, yeah.
You can't do police work like that.
Yeah?
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
And when she talks to this policeman that's just, doesn't seem to take his job super seriously. And she was correcting him and being like, but in a nice way. It was almost constructive. And then she's scenes with her husband being like, I'm loyal, no. So I felt like that scene, for me personally, I've already understood what her character was. Maybe it showed a bit more for me that she was, honest. She didn't want to cheat at all. But otherwise than that, I felt like that scene was pretty...
Sometimes a scene doesn't need to show that much,
Exactly, yeah.
Because you have this canvas of like 90 minutes plus, right? And you get to do exactly what you want, and everything in that canvas has its meaning. It doesn't need to be like grand. It can be like really small. Like the scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when Sharon Tate goes into the cinema. Super long scene.
Yes.
What does it say? How does it carry the story forward?
More like that she cares about the movie. She wants to really see the final product as a viewer, not just at a premiere gala. And it shows her careful or careless mind of just like walking in there, being like, oh, can I watch the movie? And then just like remove her shoes, just putting them up, just kicking back, relax, watching her movie, seeing how others react, So that kind of explained how her mentality was.
You know the thing with that scene especially, it means a lot, just because it shows you in a way, or it makes you feel how people from that generation, that when she was famous, felt about her. She's just this wonderful person. She seems so open.
When did she get murdered? Was it in the 80s? 70s?
I think 70s.
70s.
60s. No, 60s.
60s, okay.
65, I think. 65. But it's that thing. Like, what does it mean? Well, did you feel bad? Or the thing is, you didn't know that she died when you saw the movie. But even so, maybe when you saw those bad people going into that neighborhood, you were like, oh, but she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Please don't kill her, Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's but I think that scene, especially, that really long scene, where she like walks into the cinema, takes a picture with the people. Oh, it's me, like in the movie, And they're like, oh, it's on us. Just go inside and watch, And she goes and she's like,
yeah.
And like shows you how pure and like how it makes you like almost be afraid that she might die,
Yeah, you're being
protective of this wonderful
exactly, protective. Yeah.
of this wonderful human being, and that's enough. That movie is really slow, but it's like it's enjoyable. Okay, so rating.
Are we rating it?
Yeah. Not
Okay.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That we've already done that.
I want to do it again. That's good.
I have so much to say.
I want to hear your first.
I wanna hear.
I wanna hear your rating first.
I like.
Okay,
this
wait. Before.
Okay.
Something that we have missed a lot of episodes on. That I kind of want to make a thing.
Yeah, quote.
Do you have a favorite quote?
Oh yeah, that was it.
I was thinking either oh yeah or like I want pancakes.
I need. The thing is, I forget about that every single time, so I don't think about it like consciously.
But oh yeah was in all of them, like throughout the entire movie.
There's probably like super funny things.
Like a compilation of all the oh yeah.
Oh yeah, but I haven't thought about it.
But hey, after this movie, I've started to realize that I really enjoyed the Minesota accent.
Minnesota.
You gotta talk like leprechauns. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I love Love loves that. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he looks like
loves that.
He always has this stickad.
Yeah, he got a t-shirt.
It looks like a handmade, like 80s hoodie from like cold weather. I don't know how to say it, but like handmade.
Like
know.
A grandma.
Yeah,
shirt.
grandma made it. Yeah, and then he always has these like NFL caps. No, not NFL.
It's NFL. No.
American football. What league is that?
No, it's not.
NFL is.
Is it NFL?
NHL is hockey.
NHL.
Maybe it's NFL. National Football League. Yeah, NFL. I'm sorry, I don't know anything.
Something. The Minnesota, you know.
The fake football one.
Yeah, that's great. Fake football one.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
but anyways, he looks like he comes from Minnesota. So.
He really likes Minnesota.
Yeah.
A lot. He's even got a t-shirt that says Minnesota. But I think it's like a pretty standard thing, like Swedish people loving or like cheering for Minnesota. That's like pretty...
I mean, there's a...
Like
Isn't there...
30% of all Swedish are in Minnesota, I guess.
Yeah, isn't there like a Swedish colony in Minnesota? Yeah, from like...
Cool.
From like the late 18th century when Swedish people came over just to work and they stayed there.
Yeah. They were like, oh, this seems like home. We stay here, in this cold place.
It's pretty much exactly the same. Cold.
We left the cold for the cold.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like, good job, dude. Yeah. You could have chosen anywhere, and you chose this fucking cold weather.
You could have gone to like I don't know, the coast.
Yeah.
To like beaches and
Go
stuff.
to Florida, dude.
Yeah.
Go to anywhere but the fucking cold weather. Sorry. Yeah. So the movie. For me, the movie had a lot of things that I love, and it felt like a movie not only that I think was like great, like done very, like a very well done film, but it's also a film that I like personally. It makes me feel like, wow, I love cinema. And when I watch films like that with that type of twist or that type of suspense, I'm like hooked on it.
Yeah.
But also that this film is from 96, so it's pretty old.
It didn't have the biggest budget.
No, it didn't have the biggest budget, and it's basically an indie film, like a pretty big indie film. But it's so fresh. It feels so modern. People today can watch it and enjoy it, you know? Maybe not everyone, no, it's from 96, no, I'm not watching that, you know? It's
almost timeless. Almost
timeless.
Almost.
And there is like this pinch of comedy in it that we didn't talk about that much.
And that's the thing that Love likes. Like this...
Yeah, Love likes.
Do you say satirical? No? Comedy that just harms someone, but in a comedic way. For example, Jerry. He's wanted to solve his problem, but everything he does is like comedically going bad for him. And I honestly thought about it watching this movie. Like, this Jerry is almost like another version of Jerry from Rick and Morty. Like a dad.
I think. Wow.
Maybe it's an inspiration.
Maybe Jerry in Rick and Morty is inspired by him. But yeah. I don't think so.
I feel like a dad figure that's tried to do something right. Jerry Smith in Rick and Morty is a bit different, of course.
No, well, the thing is that he doesn't have, like, he wouldn't do something like that. You know, he's too afraid. But I see that this Jerry was as afraid.
Yeah.
You know, and as weak.
Yeah. Which
Jerry is. Doesn't have a great job, you know, stuff like that.
And he kind of gets shit on by everyone.
But so this one is one of my favorite films, not of all time, but like is like a great, like I enjoyed it a lot. It's a film I really enjoy. So I would give it like 4.2, I would say. Like somewhere between 4 and 4.5. It's like it's a great film. I love it. I love Coen Brothers. I love their like satirical take on people and communities, which this movie does a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy the details in film and films that make me wonder what did I miss.
Yeah. So, one thing I realized now when you were talking, I figured out a new quote.
Oh shit.
A favorite quote. It's when Steve Buscemi is leaving the first time the parking lot, when he was just, driving in and then immediately driving out because he was picking up a package. And he's forced to pay $4. And he's like, oh, you think you're the authority? Hey, take your fucking $4, you sad piece of shit, It kind of felt like, something that my parents would say, in a way. If some, like, employee did that because they had to, they would be like, oh, you sad shit. Like, oh, take this, get out of my face, So,
oh, that actually happens in Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
If someone have seen it, it's one of those things that like Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
Is like at the parking garage and he's at this bad time in his life and he doesn't even have the money to like eat, and he's like going outside the court like parking and he needs to pay for like an extra hour. Just he missed like 2 minutes and he's like, "Fuck you! You're a piece of shit,"
Yeah.
Fuck you.
But that was something that I like about the movie. It's just the scene itself is not geniusly written. It's not something that you break down being like, this scene when he was swearing to this employee was amazing. Maybe someone does, not judging by anything, but for me it was a kind of simplistic scene. It's not something super complex. The writing was a bit, like, not super complex either. But it just was awesome to look at. It was just experience it, which is my favorite thing about this movie. It's just that it's, simplistically good. It's in a way kind of simplistic if you just like look at it and stuff, and it's really good. And even if you dig down deeper, it gets even better. But I don't know. I don't really have the same respect for the movie as you have, or like not respect, but like
that's totally okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm gonna grade it 3.3 something.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
It's not. I mean, 3 is pretty good, but it's like it's not something that really will bring me back. I mean, I love Peter Stormare. I love Steve Buscemi. Do you say Buscemi? Buscemi.
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love those two actors, and seeing them work hand in hand as two criminals was just like, awesome. But still, it didn't really hold up. For me, it's a kind of, in general, mediocre film. But I see its glory in its places. I see why people
it's
like
inspirational for me, and like I take inspiration
Yes.
from it, so I think that's why it's like closer to my heart.
It inspired me to come up with film ideas that not super complex in camera angles, action scenes, writing. It doesn't have to be super complex, so it's easy to do. Like, not super easy to do, but like easier to do than super complex movies. But it can still have an impact on you, like a heavy impact on you. It can make you feel things about the character, even though they're like, compared to some other movies, they're like a bit simplistic, But it's simplistic but good,
Yeah, that's wonderful, dude. I was thinking like, think of if this was our setup, if we were just sitting here.
I mean, it would be nice.
Like this is
like,
nice,
this
but
is a good couch.
but we're gonna get like, it almost looks like we're gonna make porn, casting couch. But
hopefully when it's done,
we're gonna get a table, like a big table, and we're actually like gonna put some stuff up and stuff like that on on the wall, and we're gonna fix the lighting. I guess it's the first time we actually have like a decent lighting.
I mean,
which is something,
the only light source we had before was my ceiling lamp, and also a lamp that came with the student apartment, which is like super bad.
Which is like for reading, you know, having next to your bed.
Yeah, just like you don't want to live in the dark. This lamp just like lights up 2% of the entire room.
Yeah.
Super bad, and it's like someone has beaten it with a hammer.
Whoa, why?
Yeah, have you seen the foot of it? It has
No.
like imprints on it.
Oh, Jesus.
Like either someone just like went ham on it, or they just like put stuff on it and just like.
Damn, that's crazy.
But now we at least trying to have like more lighting, better lighting.
And a much better
Since Karim
sound.
has soft boxes at his place.
Ooh. And
So,
like, think if we had a guest would sit like in between us.
So we all see
And-
like
and
this,
we would, like-
being like, oh, did
Yeah,
you
so
did you like the movie?
I love the movie. It was like super inspirational. But I think that's
And be, like having this person here being like, so Karim, did you like?
yeah, like looking behind and we're just ignoring the person sitting in the middle.
And the person sitting like this.
Should I leave or should, okay?
But I think this couch is too comfortable to have
Dude.
a podcast on.
Dude, I'm gonna blow
Like
your
I just want to sink into it.
Yeah, I know. It's great. We have the TV behind the camera.
So we see
And-
ourselves for the first time.
Yeah, in like 55-inch television, you know.
It almost the same
it's
size.
it's creepy as fuck. It's not good. This was a bad idea.
I
We should
like
not
it
have-
though.
You liked it?
You didn't like it.
Or I just keep looking at myself instead of the camera,
I look at it like a couple of minutes at a time. Like
and you're like, hey baby,
I like look at myself and go,
hey what's up? Okay.
no,
so
they like shaking.
I'm gonna blow your mind. Okay, I'm gonna do something amazing. Okay.
Okay.
I think that's all for today.
What?
See you in the next week.